Now we will study about the mechanism of pathogenicity. So this process of infection have several stages, including the transmission or access to a vulnerable host, attachment to the host, invasion and motility, intracellular survival, and immune evasion. So starting with the first one, that is the transmission or access to a vulnerable host. Organisms are transmitted by various means, but most are restricted to a particular route. The strains may develop epidemic potential by developing adaptation to an environment that either favor transmission or better survival in that environment. For example, most respiratory pathogens induce coughing, which facilitates their spread by the creation of respiratory droplets. The vomiting and diarrhea associated with organisms that are spread by the fecal-oral route increases the contamination of the environment and risk of new infection. Moving on to the attachment to the host. Microorganisms must attach themselves to host tissue to colonize them, and each organism has a different strategy. The distribution of the receptors to which a particular organism can bind will define the organs that it will infect. Like the Neisseria gonorrhea adheres to the genital mucosa using fimbriae. The influenza virus attaches by its hemagglutinin antigen. Bacterial biofilms aid colonization of indwelling prosthetic devices such as catheters and the respiratory tract. Some strains of staphylococci have genes that mediate attachment to plastic and to the biological molecules that coat intravascular devices. Mucosal destruction may expose a variety of host molecules such as fibronectin, and collagen to which the invading organism can bind. Now, after attachment, there is the invasion. Now, some bacteria have mechanisms that help them get close to the mammalian epithelium. For example, Vibrio cholera excrete a mucinase to help it reach out the enterocyte. Now, the microorganisms have a variety of strategies that allow them to cross mucosal barriers or different types of cell membrane. The ability to move in order to locate new sources of food or in response to chemotactic signal potentially enhances the pathogenicity. Vibrio cholera is motile by virtue of its flagellum. Non-motile mutants are also present, but they are less virulent. Now, to survive in the human host, pathogen must cope up with the intracellular environment and overcome the host immune defense. Respiratory bacteria secrete IgA protease that degrades host immunoglobulins. Streptococcus pneumoniae has a polysaccharide capsule which inhibits phagocytosis by polymorphonuclear neutrophils. Treponema alters surface antigens to evade antibodies. Some bacteria like Toxoplasma, Leishmania, and Mycobacterium tuberculosis are adapted to survive within macrophages using different mechanisms like escaping the phagolysosome, preventing the fusion with the phagosome, or surviving inside.